is that most people imagine is that this is overwhelming, this is impossible. If I go vegan, I'll have to acquire a taste for folk music. Maybe I'll have to wear tie-dye clothes. This is an impossible thing. How do I do it?
Hi, I'm Stephanie and I'm studying for a Master's in Clinical Nutrition, and this video is a compilation of different advice and information around whole food plant-based eating by some of the leading doctors and experts in the field. You'll discover some tips and tricks on how you can succeed on a whole food plant-based diet and learn how you can implement it in your daily life. So whether or not you've been a vegan for 10 years or 5 years, or you're just interested about learning more about a whole food plant-based diet, this video will be very informative, so sit back, relax, and let's dive into the world of plant-based eating together.
I don't overcomplicate it. Like, I get people send me these emails all the time, like, tell me your ratio of this to that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even think it, it's very simple. Like, I eat a lot of whole plant-based foods as close to their natural state as possible. That's like general rule number one.
The problem is people that are transitioning to a vegan diet don't realize that plant foods are far lower in calories than meats, than eggs, than cheese, and things like that. So what you want to do is to fill up on foods that you like. If you had to add a little bit of salt, a little bit of oil at first so that you get enough of those foods into you, then do that. But remember that you're always trying to transition towards a whole foods, plant-based diet. This is what will keep you feeling healthy and happy and keep you on the vegan train.
You're at that wonderful swimming pool that other people are saying the water's fine. Jump in. Now, if you want to transition in, you can, but if you jump in, that's when you're going to see more profound health benefits, more weight loss, and then when you feel those health benefits, it reinforces you to want to keep going. The slower you wade into the water, the longer it takes to get used to it.
Fiber is crucial, absolutely crucial to success and to feeling full. We eat so little fiber. 10 to 15 grams is the average American. My patients, they come in, everyone's eating high protein. Everyone is eating high protein because they think that's what it is. And no one's eating fiber. And they're missing out on this idea that you could get a huge portion that fills you up without getting nearly as amount of calories.
When you take a bite of an apple, you're getting a ton of nutrients. You're getting antioxidants, which fight cancer. And you get a ton of hydration and my favorite nutrient, which is fiber. So as the fiber travels through your gut, it encounters the trillions of gut microbiome that live in a symbiotic relationship in the gut and fermented into something called short chain fatty acids, which are literally healing to the gut and fight cancer.
And they say, well, I told my doctor that I was going on a plant-based diet, and they were like, you're not going to get every nutrient that you need. So maybe if you could offer some advice for how you could help educate your own doctor as you start asking these questions, because I would hate to think that somebody goes in there with these great intentions, they're reared up, ready to go with this new diet, and then they feel like they've got a bucket of cold water poured on them.
Yeah, that can happen, although luckily it's pretty rare. In our research studies, let's say I bring in 50 people and they have diabetes and we're going to be doing a vegan diet to test its effect. We always have the participants notify their doctors about their private doctors about what they're doing. And I would say that 95% are extremely enthusiastic because they know that when the patient goes vegan, they are going to get healthier. But you do have that sort of 1 in 20 who was sitting in the back of the class in medical school on the day when they were talking about protein and plant-based foods, and they kind of snoozed during that lecture, and that they got the idea, this sort of 1940s idea that there's not enough protein or whatever. Plant-based diets are very nutritious, and they are definitely the way to go.
Like, I've had a whole journey with supplements, and we can get into that. I don't overdo it with that at all. When I first began, I was so worried about all of these things, like, oh, you're going to be deficient in all these things, and I had all kinds of crazy supplements. And over the years, I've kind of weaned myself off of those and thought, do I really need these? Are these really working? Am I spending my money, responsibly? And I found that for the most part, I don't need most of those things that I thought that I did, including protein powder. Like, I really don't need to do that much of that.
Now look at oils over there. Oils are a killer. They are extremely, extremely calorie dense. And it's one thing that I've found over and over in my patients when they come to me and they're, I'm eating healthy. And as I look through their diet, and especially when you're eating out, even when they give you the calorie amounts, they're not giving you the calorie amount of the oil that's on the grill that they're using to cook with.
Once you learn, for example, that fat has 9 calories per gram, that's why we want to get away from the fat, because carbohydrates have only 4.
cheese is processed, highly processed food. So as that cheese travels through your gut, it has a lot of saturated fat, right? There is talk now, there's some animal studies that show that saturated fat can break the tight junctions between the gut cells and cause what's called leaky gut. So again, it is definitely not a good food to have because it's so full of saturated fat.
Let's talk about ridiculousness here. All right, Pam cooking spray. All right, so it says Pam cooking spray, all natural. So if you look at the ingredients in there of their all natural stuff, it starts with canola oil. So first of all, there is not canola oil bubbling up from the ground, right? It is not natural. It's processed to get that way. So how is there 0 calories and 0 grams of fat? Can anybody tell me? Okay, so what's the serving size? The servings, you can't see the serving size up there? It says 1/3 of a second of a spray. 1/3 of a second of a spray. So I don't know how you measure 1/3 of a second. You'd have to, I could just imagine like the one person's got to stop. Okay. But that's not what people do, right? They take that pan, they're like, oh, this is 0 calories. I don't know why I'm getting overweight.
How much exercise should we be getting every day? Do we need to spend hours in the gym?
Well, so first thing it's important to realize is that, you can't outrun a bad diet. So, for example, a moderately obese person doing moderately intense physical activity like biking or very brisk walking, might burn off approximately 350 calories an hour. But, most drinks, snacks, and other processed junk are consumed at a rate of about 70 calories per minute. So therefore, it only takes 5 minutes of snacking for someone to wipe out a whole hour of exercise. That's why you can see how the calories inside of the equation is so much more important than the calories out. Having said that, of course, exercise has a bevy of benefits aside from weight loss, and so certainly encourage people to exercise.
And when I was, beginning to train, like I was just listening to my body and trying to, meet its needs as I saw fit in the moment. So I wasn't following some kind of recipe or guide. But essentially, I start my day usually with a Vitamix smoothie, right. That starts with a base of dark leafy greens. Like it always starts with that. So spinach, kale, things like that, chard. And from there it kind of builds, a pre-workout, beet greens are always good. Berries, blackberries, blueberries, berries with high antioxidants, maybe some apple or orange. And then, some of the more exotic superfoods, hemp seeds, ground flax seeds, pepitas, which are high in iron. That's one thing. Everyone worries about your iron levels. So I make sure I, eat seeds that are high in iron. And I keep it simple. Like, I have 4 kids, we're busy, we're doing a million things. I open up the fridge in the morning. I don't know what I'm gonna find, so a lot of times it's just improvising with what we have.
We have had thousands of people come into our research studies and into our medical center, and I have never seen anyone unable to make this transition.
What's good for the heart is good for the GI tract, what's good for the brain. And it's very cool because you can eat this one diet and it's mostly plant-based and it can help you with every organ.
I think it's all about always moving forward, eating more raw fruits and vegetables, eating more cooked vegetables, eating, just more plant-based foods, whole foods. It's going to be what's going to help you feel good, satiated, and going to keep you on this vegan lifestyle for a long time.